What's the most uncomfortable situation a nice guy has put you in? Met a nice guy over OKC a couple of years ago. I gave him my number after we chatted for a bit and talked about possibly meeting. When he suggested we meet at a local elementary school in the middle of the night, I noped the fuck out and told him it was nice talking to him, but I didn't want to meet anymore. He kept trying to convince me by saying he would buy me gifts. He really likes me and thinks we could hit it off. When I told him no, he blew up and called me a bitch, a whore, the usual. He tells me that I now owe him $15 because he had already bought me a present for our first date and that I needed to meet him right now to give him his money, or I could meet him and have a good time and forget about all of this. Blocked his number right away and didn't hear from him until the next day when he calls me from a different number. When I picked up, he acted pleasant and asked me what time we were going to meet today for our date. I told him to fuck off and blocked him again. Then I get a text a couple hours later from another fucking phone number saying that if I don't meet him, he was going to kill himself. After a bit of unnecessarily dramatic conversation, I basically told him that I didn't care if he killed himself. He was psychotic and needed to leave me alone. I blocked him and forgot about it. Fast forward to about 6 months ago when I got a text from an unknown number. I knew exactly who it was when I read the text. I have $20 and a fun night planned for us. Want to meet sometime soon? Miss you. Blocked it. Changed my number. Never giving it out to a stranger again. A whole $20 amused. Woo. There was a guy in high school who had a crush on me. He was never shy about it, and from day one he made me feel really uncomfortable. He'd ask me out multiple times a day, always in front of my friends, who didn't help because they'd always egg me on to go out with him. I was the new kid in school and they'd all been friends with him since elementary school. When I kept saying no, he assumed it was because I was seeing someone else, so he started telling people I was sleeping with random guys in school. I wasn't. I had no interest in dating any of the boys I went to high school with. Anytime I tried to tell him to stop doing that, he, and anyone else around for that matter, said he was just joking and I needed to lighten up. It all came to a head at the homecoming dance my junior year. He was a senior, so it was his last homecoming, apparently. The day before homecoming he told one of my friends that he'd asked me to the dance and I said yes. He had not asked me. I never had any intention of going to the dance. He kept going on to my friend about how special he wanted it to be, that he spent all his money on tickets, gas, new shoes and a corsage. My friend was so excited for him that she went over to his house the day of homecoming and helped him get everything ready. She also told all our friends what was going on, so everyone was under the impression I was going to the dance with him. Let me also add, no one checked with me that I was going to the dance, so this was all going on without my knowledge. He told everyone that I was going to get dropped off by my parents, so he and all my friends waited outside for me. They waited for 3 hours. Apparently any time my friends told him to come inside and that I wasn't coming, he'd start tearing up and say, "Just 5 more minutes." So of course I show up to school on Monday and everyone was furious at me. None of my friends wanted to talk to me. I sat alone at lunch for 3 days completely confused about what was going on before some girl I'd never talked to before asked me why I'd stood this guy up. So I went up to the guy when he was alone, asked what the fuck he'd done, and he just started laughing hysterically and said, "If you agree to go out with me, I'll tell everyone it was just a misunderstanding." Never talked to the guy again. It permanently damaged my friendships with several people because they thought I was a massive asshole to this guy who they thought was really sweet. This is potentially the creepiest post on this thread, right? The guy is a sociopath, such a manipulative asshole. I agree 100%. The fact that he spread lies to her friends so easily and fucked up her friendships, in addition to already being an asshole in general, is ridiculous. It's sad. How did others respond when you tried and told them? Of my friend group, 3 immediately believed me when they took time to listen to my side of the story. A couple took a couple of weeks before getting over it, not sure if they started to believe me or just stopped being mad. The rest just believed him full stop and didn't trust me at all after. I had to get ride from a friend my junior year of high school. For some reason I didn't have my car. I don't remember all the details. He stopped about a mile from my house and pulled over onto the side of the road. He told me he had a dream where we had made out and that I was a really good kisser, and he decided I could either walk home from there or kiss him. Holy shit, I have a story. So, I'm a big dude, and at my first semester at a university, I came in as a junior. There was this guy that was just way too fucking into me, and he was super creepy about it. The dude would just sit uncomfortably close to me. Like if I was sitting on a chair, he'd sit on the armrest. Or if I was talking to someone, he'd place himself directly between me and the person I was talking to. It was annoying. He would always bring up discussions to make sure everyone in the room knew he was bi and ask everyone their orientation. And every dude would answer straight, and he'd awkwardly flirt with me or some other dude. After months of this, we were playing ping pong and were getting in a stupid argument where he was just flat out wrong. It had something to do with game engines and pixel art. It was stupid. He would hate to admit he was wrong, but he decided this was a good point to show me he was able to accept defeat in an argument. He goes, "Shed, I have Asperger's. It's really hard for me to look someone in the eye. I can only do it if I am really mad at a person, or if I really want to fuck them. But don't worry, I'm not mad at you," all while staring right into my face. I just put my shit down and walked away. I was like 19 and working third shift at a gas station, casually sweeping the floor. The door opens and I hear that ding, so I look up and make eye contact with some guy. I can't explain what was going on in this guy's head, but it was like he thought it was some kind of slow-mo movie situation, and he staggered back, gasping, and widening his eyes and staring at me. I am not the kind of person to notice this kind of stuff in other people. I felt like I was reading a scene from Twilight in my head. I went behind the checkout counter. He grabbed his Red Bull or whatever. He kept obviously looking at me in shock and shaking his head like he was trying to psych himself up for something. Ladies, you know that feeling when you know someone wants to catch your attention and talk to you but you're trying to keep it casual. This went on for like 20 minutes and I couldn't accomplish anything because I'm waiting for this dude to check out. Anyway, so he walks up to the checkout super dramatically. I check him out. He stares the whole time and finally sighs, saying, "I never expected to see such a beautiful woman at a gas station. This is fate. You shouldn't be working here." I just can't help myself. "I have to ask you to go out with me." I said, "Sorry, I have a boyfriend." He seriously looked enraged. He clenched his fists and gave me this overly dramatic scary look, grabbed his stuff, and stormed out the door. He moved his car so the bright headlights were facing the front of the store and sat there until the next customer came, probably an hour later. Honestly, I wasn't too scared. It was just like, really? I just wanted to finish my list of duties at this crappy gas station and live my life. But some joke concocted a bizarre dream scenario in his head and somehow that was my fault. Gotta love the sheer stupidity of thinking both that you're way too pretty to be here, but then being shocked and enraged that you could possibly have a boyfriend. What a nutcase. A guy sat down next to me at a coffee shop and asked why I didn't have a boyfriend. That was his opening line, so I told him I didn't. He immediately looked appalled, demanding to know where he was, and I was like, "Bruh, do I need to wear a sign or something? People are weird. I don't wear a wedding ring and I'm married." Some people will lose their minds. Like, why even engage in a conversation if you're not going to believe anything I say? There's a guy at my office that does the dramatic double take thing when a couple of the more attractive vendor reps come in. He even takes his fucking glasses off and cleans them and puts them back on, sometimes for effect. I'm feeling second-hand embarrassment having even typed this. Is that guy a cartoon wolf whose eyes pop out of his head? He throws random completely overpronounced Spanish words into a normal English sentence to try and seem cultured and sophisticated, and he does the exaggerated double take when someone still understands him. This is in a border state where everyone understands a decent bit of Spanish.